I texted him a day after and I said, "Are you nuts?" And he just sent me a smile face.
Well, he might have had a concussion. That's why he couldn't say anything else but a smile.
Well, that's possible, but I think I don't think Sting would have been rude and say, "Hey, I'm going to do it anyway." I think he might have just, if it was that communication, that maybe he just said to the ref, "Don't worry about it. I'll be okay."
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my two co-hosts. First of all, pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Hey, it's great to be back here for another edition of the Time Machine. We've been going forward, backwards, sideways. I don't know where we're going this week, but I can't wait.
Hey, I'm all dizzy from all that, too. Speaking of which, our other partner every single week, WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the building. First thing I want to know is this is not a brand new edition. This is the Time Machine. So where'd you get this brand new edition from?
Well, you know, the brand new, it's a new episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
See, what did I tell him off camera before we started? We know how to get you back.
Yeah.
Don't mess them up. New Edition is a singing group.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Peanut Head's trying to give me a hard time today is what he's
That's
doing.
all right. That's all right.
Wait.
Peanut Head's got me where I am today.
Hold on. Let me do my Gordon Soley, because somebody said they like my imitations. Indeed, a fracas has broken up, and we will be right back. We're back.
Guys, there's something I got to bring up. The start of the show, something that I just came across yesterday, and I couldn't wait until we got together to discuss this. Kevin Nash had some harsh things to say about LA Knight. Now, this is the guy that we've been talking about, that we're kind of high on, thinking this guy's got something about him. Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see. Kevin Nash says, quote, "Am I the only one that sees like an absolute ripoff of The Rock? To the point when he cut the promo on effing Logan Paul, the only thing he didn't do was turn that mother sideways. Jesus Christ, does everyone have amnesia? There's nothing original." End quote. He's not loving the LA gimmick. Any thoughts, guys?
Well, I mean, you know, everybody, you know, don't like what you do, you know. So, I mean, you know, some things, you know, people do on TV, some people like them and some people don't. So that's Kevin, you know, he has the right to his opinion. You know, I didn't get a chance to see that segment. You know, I would have liked to have seen that, you know, so I could really, you know, really talk about it and see if he did do anything that resembled to The Rock's character. But like I said, man, you know, Nash has been around a long time. He knows this business, you know, and I think if he feels like something is not right, he's going to speak his mind. And hey, man, it is what it is.
Bill, what do you think? One of the things go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have two words to say. So what? Austin Idol, Superstar Graham, Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, they all came from various versions of each other.
Now, I was going to say the same thing, Bill, because I agree with you. I think that Ric Flair was not the original. It was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers.
Well, Buddy Rogers was it? You know, I grew up idolizing Buddy Rogers, and he was slightly different character than Ric Flair. But the whole thing is here, you know, he comes out with, and the fans just took to him. So why not keep it up? But the whole purpose of all of this is to, you know, get to the point where people want to see you. And to me, he's not a total ripoff of The Rock. He's got a different personality. He's like that, I don't know, I'm going to say that typical, what we call the truck driver guy. Hey, you want to go in and have a steak? Come on, let's go eat. You know, that type of guy.
I do see The Rock in him. Now, I'm going to be one of those guys. I agree with
Kevin Nash. It doesn't matter what you see. I'm sorry.
But, you know, the thing is, though, that he does have those characteristics, but he also has the characteristics of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's kind of a mixture of a lot of things that people love, which is what I think Kevin sees in him. He's seeing bits and pieces of the Attitude Era coming out in LA Knight, and that's what LA Knight is. He's kind of a mixture of all those. That's what he grew up with. That's what, it got him going into wrestling in the first place. I do see Kevin's point. you don't want to come across as a copycat of someone else. But at the same time, I feel like he's made this his own. Even though there are those elements, it is his own.
Yes.
I just don't think that maybe Kevin's watched enough of him to see that. But so I agree and disagree with Kevin, to be honest with you.
Well, here's the thing. If you're gonna, copy somebody or do some stuff that your idol or your hero did, there's a way to do that. You know what I mean? You can do that, but you also need to create yourself into what you're doing there. Make yourself a part of it too. So they will start. Maybe you'll do something. They'll think about The Rock for a minute. Oh, that sounds like The Rock, but then you got something to cover that. You go right into something else. Now the people, can kind of believe in you. Well, he sounded a little bit The Rock, but hey, man, he's got his own style right there. Yeah. Because I remember one night I was on the indie show, and there was this guy just kept asking the people, yes. I said, and I talked to him in the back. I said, why are you doing that? I said, they're thinking about Daniel Bryan. They ain't thinking about you. So come up with something that you created so that you'll have your own, style. Don't you people ever going around talking about, well, I'm going to do this, but see, Randy Orton did it, but I'm going to do it too. Well, you ain't helping Randy Orton. You ain't doing nothing for yourself.
Do you see Razor Ramon and Damian Priest like I do at times? And I think Damian's great. He's one of my favorites.
I've never saw the correlation between the two, but now I've never thought about it. Now, next time I see him, I might think about that and actually watch it. But I think that's okay, though, because what I believe is that people watch wrestling because of the characters. And if someone's character is based off of somebody from their childhood, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a part of them. It's who they are and what they came up in the wrestling world with. Right. I just don't think that there's really any negatives to LA Knight, especially right now, because he's hot as fire. I mean, I don't know if anybody that's as hot as he is right now.
Well, like I said, man, this is the wrestling business.
Yep.
Why didn't they have him win Money in the Bank? The fans it was he and LA Knight at the top of that thing, and they wanted LA Knight. Again, I think Damian Priest is fabulous. He's going to be a world champion. But why didn't they have LA Knight and just appease the fans? Because he's over every place the WWE goes.
Because it's just a little bit too early.
That's why right. That's why you don't do it right away. You just said it, Bill. He's over everywhere they go. So capitalize on the overness. You know what I mean? Take your time for him to get the big win. And when he does get it, then it'll really mean something. But right now, as long as he's over, that ain't really something that they've got to do. You save that if he starts to get stale.
Okay.
Speaking of things that you don't have to do, the other night on AEW's Dynamite, we saw Sting and Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. During that match, towards the end, a ladder was pulled out into the middle of the ring with two tables set up on the outside of the ring. In the process, the tables were placed too far from the ring. Anybody with half a brain knew that before the spot happened when Sting climbed the ladder and actually tried to dive onto those tables from that ladder. The entire time, Teddy and I talked about this on Road Trip After Hours, which drops every Friday on YouTube. But as soon as it happened, Teddy and I started talking about it. And the biggest problem there seems to be, Teddy, communication.
Well, I hate to be a repeat, but here we go again. Like me and you talked about this, and Bill understands this too. He's been around this like you and I both forever. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I've never been to an AEW event, but I'm sure the referee has an earpiece, okay? The WWE referees have earpieces. They there's a sign, a signal you give when somebody's hurt so that somebody will know. So like you said, Bill, I don't watch any of their shows either, but Mac, you said that Taz kept talking about the table when it was too far away. Now, Taz is talking about this. There's people in the production truck there. They're hearing this. So if Taz is telling you that this is going on, why are you not telling the referee if he has an earpiece, he or she, so she can go to Sting and tell him that table ain't right? Don't do it. Or let them do something, to kill some time and maybe move the table. I don't know what kind of situation they were in. So that's what I said. It's a lack of communication.
Well, could because of Sting's tenure in the business and doing this so many years, could it have been that Sting got the word from the referee and just said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it?
Well, look like to me, if that happened, then that would come out. Why don't you say that?
I don't know.
What I mean, why take all this negative and take all this heat when you could have avoided some, and then you did avoid it? You told the referee to tell Sting, and he said, like, well, no, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. Well, then that takes care of everything right there. He did that on his own.
Yeah.
Now, and I'll tell you, and I know you two know this, but there are a lot of wrestlers that you can tell them not to do something, they still want to do it. You've got to protect those performers from hurting themselves sometimes. And I honestly believe that at some point, somebody, and maybe it did happen, but somebody should have said, no, there is no reason for Sting, who already has a Hall of Fame career. He's already established himself. He has no reason to jump from a 12-foot ladder, probably a good 15 feet off the ground onto somebody and barely making that table, busting his jaw in the process. And the truth is, when he hit those tables, I wasn't sure he wasn't seriously injured.
Me too.
It
could have been much worse.
My thing is this: I had the opportunity to work with Sting for many years in WCW, and I mean, he's a mild-mannered, nice guy, and I just don't see him being the guy to tell them when they tell him not to do something to say, "I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway." I just don't see Sting doing it. He ain't that type of guy. Now, he could have done it. I mean, just some, you and I maybe don't know, or maybe he just felt like, maybe I can make it. We just don't know.
Right.
But I think if somebody was giving him the right communication and letting him know, hey, don't do this, you're going to get seriously hurt. I couldn't see a guy just hurting himself, on purpose. I don't get it.
Yeah, I texted him a day after and I said, are you nuts? And he just sent me a smile face.
Well, he might have had a concussion. That's why he couldn't say anything else but a smile.
Well, that's possible, but I think I don't think Sting would have been rude and say, hey, I'm going to do it anyway. I think he might have just, if it was that communication, that maybe he just said to the ref, don't worry about it, I'll be okay. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But should Sting have been on that ladder at all anyhow? Shouldn't that have not been avoided? I don't see why there was a need.
He could have said no.
Listen, him being on the ladder don't mean nothing. It's the safety is what we're talking about. And Sting's been around this business a long time, and Sting knows how to protect himself. So I don't think it was a problem about him being on the ladder at, saying so forth, because he knows how to protect himself. He knows how to work. So, things just happen. So like I said, I just blame it on communication. I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. But like I said, there's a lack of communication there, and that's really bad.
And one of the things that did happen when they were putting those tables up, Darby's table, he kicked the leg out so hard when he was trying to get the table set up that he broke the leg from the table. And when he did that, Taz immediately said, you don't need to use that table, brother. That's got a broken leg. That's not a good table spot. That needs to be, you need to change that. He says that on the air and nothing happens.
So what I just tell you, Taz is sitting there, he's telling them.
Yeah.
And you're going to just not pay the guy any attention to the production people in that truck, people that are back there watching that monitor, the guy's telling you this?
There's going to be a time in AEW, and again, I like AEW. I'm not somebody that hates AEW. Actually, I prefer their programming a lot of times over WWE. But I can honestly say that sooner or later, someone is going to get seriously injured on that show if they don't start pulling back on some of the crazy stunts and the people who are doing it. Yeah. I'm really concerned that we're going to see something horrible happen on TV, and it's not a matter of when, it's just how soon it's going to happen.